What I have here is an extremely wet piece of English walnut, but that's okay because I want to turn it to a completed bowl in one session. And what I'll do is turn around 1/4 inch wall thicknesses, but I'll only go down into the bowl a couple inches at a time, and then I will do whatever I can to get that smooth enough to be able to sand after it dries. And I'll just work my way to the bottom, and hopefully we end up with a really beautiful bowl because the wood sure is beautiful. It's about 10 inches by 11 inches and around 6 inches deep. So what I'm going to do is take it over to the bandsaw and cut it fairly round, and then I'll meet you back at the lathe and we'll get it mounted up and start turning. So let's get going. Okay, I've decided to go ahead and use a worm screw, and I put this chuck on with the larger jaws. It gives it a better footprint. And since it's green wood, you saw I just sprayed my bandsaw. I'm going to do it to the bed on the lathe, just for a little head start of keeping that moisture away from it. So now this is why I didn't choose the bigger piece. That's about all I can handle right now. Okay, that works good. I chose a pretty lopsided piece. So when it gets really bouncy like that, sometimes I like to get locked in a place like this and then just pivot the cut. It doesn't bounce quite as much. I'll show you. You got a bounce there, but if I lock it in, I'm doing all that with my body, not my arms. So I don't know what kind of a nightmare I'm going to have here. Well, that's about what I was looking for. To clean this up. Just going to clean up my little dovetail here. That should do that. Now, I'm going to go over it with the negative rake scraper. Get it as smooth as I can. And that way, maybe I'll be able to sand it if it works. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, I'm going to get some of this cleaned up and we'll get it flipped around and get it in the jaws and start hollowing out the inside. Alright, I got it flipped around. It's in the chuck. It's running real smooth. Notice I have a place where it was missing wood here and there's a crack and it's kind of dirty. So I don't know what's going to happen to the diameter. I'm going to start by cleaning this up to see where I'm at. I'm going to use a 1/2-inch bowl gouge. I think I'll fill this with coffee grounds and CA. And maybe it'll get turned away and maybe it won't. Okay, I got a little bit of coffee grounds and CA there and it looks like it might hold up. So we're going to start going for about a 1/4-inch wall here. So my plan here is to get the wall around a 1/4 and do all the cleanup I can on it and then go deeper. Because not only will this become thin and hard to deal with, if it starts warping it'll be almost impossible to do any more shaping. And I've got about 3/8 there now. That's pretty close, right up in here. I'll take a little bit more down below. Wow, that's really going to be pretty wood. You can tell by the sound it is getting thinner. There we go. We have a 1/4 inch now. So I use the negative rake scraper, even though it's pretty clean. Get it the best I can. Alright, got that out of the way. Let's go back to a 5/8 and see what we can do. I just drilled the hole with the tip. Alright, that's it. You can see where the water is coming to the outside as it spins. This area is a little drier. I'm going to work back and forth between the outside and the inside and kind of help it dry. I'm going to sand in reverse. Even though it's wet, I'm going to have a mask on. And let's see how it works out. So there's dust there. It even helps sometimes to use a sheet of paper like this. I think I can cause more friction on it that way. And I can reach in and sand the inside, but I need to be on this side of the wood. It's been about 18 or 20 hours since I last worked on this, and it's very dry feeling. I'm going to go ahead and sand it from 80 to 400, and you'll see how dry it is once I start doing it. You'll be able to see the dust going into the dust collector here. And when I come back, I'll put the finish on it, and then I'll tell you a little bit of extra what I did to make this dry faster. So let me get the dust collector started, and you can see that dust going in there, and I feel it's plenty dry to get a finish on it. Alright, it's time for some finish, and I've decided on the polycrylic. It's a water-based poly, but I will also be using the Minwax water-based sanding sealer. Just thinking I want to keep the colors as natural as I can. So you just kind of soak this in. Might take a couple coats. But I think I mentioned that I was going to talk about how I dried this. Well, I have a cardboard box with a fan attached to it, and I have a aluminum tube around the fan, and there's a light bulb in the other end of it, and it just pulls the warm air into the box, and there's an exhaust, like a 2-inch square hole I put in it. So mine's kind of crude looking, and I copied what Rick Turns made. I'm going to put a link in the description for his. He should get the credit for this. But I'll tell you what, that was in there for maybe 18 hours, and it just seems really dry. I tested a couple spots. They were around 10-11%. So I'm happy with that. It's kind of, Oregon is, all the wood is pretty much that way this time of year. I'll get a couple coats of this on, and then I'll get the polycrylic on. And the polycrylic looks just like this material, same color and everything. I don't know what the difference is. But I put this on the way I do wipe on poly or shellac. Get it on and then just take a rag and go over it. Especially after you start getting a buildup. This doesn't matter so much, it'll soak in. So I'll see you a little bit later when we've got the finish on. And it'll be time to remove that big old tenon. Okay, it's all done except for removing the tenon. I've got a block in my chuck and some of the padded material. See how it runs. Not too bad considering the bowl is slightly warped. So now we're going to start cutting it away. Okay, we're going to start out about 500 RPMs. Half-inch bowl gouge. So this doesn't fit all that good against that block, so I'm going to take it off, chisel the nub off, get it sanded up, and I'll be right back. Well, it's all done, and I think it is a beautiful piece of English walnut. Really nice color in it. Finished 9 3/8 in diameter. It's 4 3/4 inches tall. And the base is about 4 1/4. I used Minwax water-based sanding sealer on it, and then I used the Minwax Polycrylic, which is also water-based, and it just left a beautiful finish. I also used the Acks abrasive paste and polish on it, and that really brought the shine up. I have a video on how I use polycrylic and the paste. I'll put a link in the description so you can see that. But I just love the finish on this. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment, I read them all. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when I have a new one out. It would also be great if you could share my videos around. Thanks to all of you who are subscribed to my channel. It means a lot to me. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so. I do many types of turnings, from segmented work to natural turnings from pieces of trees, and I put out videos weekly. Thanks again. Until the next time, see you later.